It's a couple of weeks until Halloween, which means it's time to go ahead and give you some spooky book recommendations. Maybe I should have done this a little earlier, but you know what? It is what it is. And I think I have 8 different kind of spooky season reads to recommend to you. I think probably half of them are novellas, half of them are full-length books, because depending on what you're looking for, if you want something with a little more meat to it, great. If you just want something short, quick, and kind of fits the vibe of spooky season, I got that for you too. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. And let's jump in with the one that I read most recently, which is a full-length book, and that is Black Sunshine by Karina Halley. So this is technically the first book in a duet. However, I will say the ending of this one is pretty satisfying, that in case if you wanted to kind of read it as a standalone, I think you could, and you got at least a happily for now between the two characters. This one follows Lenore, who it is coming up on her 21st birthday. It's almost her 21st birthday, and she just starts getting some weird vibes from her parents and from kind of people around her. There are just some things that she's always kind of noticed, and one of those things being a stalker, she feels like she's being followed. And then one night she is in fact kidnapped, and then when she wakes up, she ends up finding herself captive in this one manor type place with a couple of men, but one of them being, what was his name? I don't know, whatever, his name, our hero. And yeah, she basically finds out that she has been lied to pretty much her entire life, and that she herself is not what she thinks, which she thinks that she's just a regular human, and she's not. And yeah, this is a vampire book, so if you like vampires, give it a go. And yeah, so now not only is she kidnapped and dealing with being that, but then she's also dealing with the truth that she's been lied to her whole life, and that she is in fact not just a regular person anymore. Yeah, if you also like the captor-captive aspect of books, then this one is for you as well, because obviously that's kind of how this all gets the ball rolling, is her being kidnapped. So yeah, anyways, if you like vampires, then give this one a go. Next up, I have one of my favorite books I read recently. Again, this is a full-length one, and that is NOC Deadia by Carrie Lake. So this one is more dark academia setting, but it definitely gives spooky season energy, just with the atmosphere and the setting of it being at this university on this island that's very prestigious, whatever. This one starts out with our heroine. Her mother passes away tragically from a mysterious illness, and basically she was given no answers, so she was kind of left to help raise her little sister, who now, as our heroine is an adult, she's working kind of a dead-end job, and she's not really happy with where she's at. However, she needs the money to be supporting her younger sister. But then she ends up getting an admittance letter to Deadia University, and she's like, I'd never even applied, what's going on here? And she ends up getting a full ride there, and after making some arrangements, she does end up attending, because she really wants to be in the medical field, and she wants to find answers for what happened to her mother, because no one is going to give them to her herself. And when she arrives on campus, she starts unraveling some secrets that were kind of left hidden, and she also meets our hero. This is student teacher, or professor student, but I will say it is very slow burn. I'd almost say that the romance is secondary, hi buddy, to the plot of this book. The romance is still great. I still loved it. It just slow burn, and it makes you work for it, which I obviously really enjoy. I love a good slow burn, and when I can't take it anymore, that these two just need to get together. But our heroine ends up helping our hero with research. He is researching an illness for his own reasons that I won't say. You can read and find out, but then they realize that maybe both of their interests align in what they're looking for in figuring out what truly happened to her mother, and kind of the history of not only her origins, but this illness and everything else. I loved this book. It was my favorite book that I read last month. It is a thick boy, but I promise the plot keeps it going. It's so good. The burn between these two was great. Everything was interesting. The writing was beautiful. The plot kept me going back to it time and time again. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one a lot, and just the atmosphere was perfect, spooky island, dark academia vibes. It was great. Let's go with a novella, Nowhere to Hide by Harper. Didn't write the author. Is it Ren, Ashley, and Harper something? I'll obviously have a picture of the book on the screen here. This one is a novella. It's literally 100 pages, and this one takes place exclusively at a carnival one night. Our heroine, she's in college. She recently broke up with her boyfriend, and she goes there with some friends, and she's just having a night at this carnival. And her boyfriend, of course, is being a jerk, and her friends are kind of come on, you're not being as fun as you used to be, whatever. And our heroine's kind of sick of it all, and she ends up running into our hero, who is a member. He works for this carnival. He works specifically at like the haunted house kind of attraction part of it. And immediately because it's a novella, right? They instantly have a spark. And he's like, you should get away from me. And she's like, but I don't want to. And he's like, fine, you know what? If you come back after park close, like I'm going to go like turn in my stuff since the carnival's like ending, the rides are shutting down. If you're still here when I come back, then like I'm basically going to chase you around this carnival and then I'm not responsible for what happens after that. And she's like, done deal. And they spend the night chasing, or like kind of a cat and mouse game around this carnival. Like I said, it's short, it's quick, it's to the point, it's hot. And yeah, that's basically it. It's just them having this night at the carnival. It just gives kind of like spooky season type energy of something that like would be up and around in like the months of October. So anyways, if you're looking for something just like I said, really quick, then here you go. Next up, let's go with another novella. This was one of my favorites. I think I read this last year and actually it got a new cover, which I'm obsessed with, and that's Moonflower by Illyria Firethorn. So this one is an MFM novella, and our heroine, she had these two childhood best friends. They like grew up together, did everything together, what have you, but then when she moved off to college, she kind of had to like cut off her friendship with them a little bit, and both of them were kind of left reeling. They're like, why did she just kind of abandon us? And now she's at college. I think she like tried dating someone and that didn't work out, so now he's like an ex-boyfriend, and she's just not really happy with how things are going in her life. She misses her two best friends, but she doesn't want to reach back out because the reason that she like up and left them was because she realized that she has feelings for both of them, and she's like, I could never choose between the two of them, right? Like I want them both, but like I can't do that, can I? And then the friends are like, you know what, enough of this like weird energy between us. We're gonna drive to her college campus for the Halloween weekend and we're gonna confront her, see what goes down. And that is basically this novella. Listen, hot, fun, character depth to it for being a quick novella. And again, the Halloween times, I think there is like, even if this is the right one that I'm thinking of, there's like a graveyard scene that like, ooh, I remember reading that and being like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want in a little Halloween fun novella. Once again, a really, really quick one, but I'd say probably out of the novellas, this and one of the other ones that I'm going to talk about are my two favorites on this list. I really, really loved this one. Okay, the garbage people have shown up, but I literally like, it has taken me all day just to be able to sit down and film this video, so we just like gotta keep powering through. I'm so sorry, and if that's gonna bug you, I'm really, really sorry, but it's what we gotta do. This I would say is my other favorite novella on the list because listen, it's a tried and true favorite for literal years, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you're probably not surprised that I'm gonna bring it up again, and that is The Dare by Harley LaRue. This is technically like the prequel novella to The Losers Duet. However, when this was written, like Harley LaRue was not planning on giving more to these characters, but then everyone fell in love with them, and they were like, okay, bet I'll give you a duet to follow up. So if you've been eyeing The Losers Duet, then start with The Dare, because this one follows Jessica, and she was the popular girl in school. She was the cheerleader, she was a bit of a bully, and now she is in college and she's back in her hometown for a Halloween party one weekend with, again, all of these high school people. And as soon as she shows up, she immediately spots Manson, who was a loser back in high school that she used to kind of like pick on a little bit with all of her other popular friends. However, what everyone does not know is that her and Manson actually shared a little bit of a moment. And as soon as she sees him, she kind of panics because she's like, oh no, I hope he doesn't say anything. And Manson spots Jessica and immediately he's like, oh, all bets are off tonight. And he ends up getting her into a game of truth or drink, where then she ends up losing and having to do whatever he wants for the entire night. It's so hot. It's so fun. I love Manson. I love The Losers Duet. I love these characters so much. And I just reread this again recently just because I'm like, I just want to go back to where it all started between them. It's literally 4 chapters. It's very, very short, extremely hot. But again, and maybe it's just because I have The Losers Duet background knowledge, but like I actually felt like there's depth even in this between Jessica and Manson. If you have not read The Losers Duet, I talk about it all the time. I absolutely love it, and you got to start with The Dare. Okay, I got to shift a little bit. Lovely, thank you. You know I'm just doing my job, they're just doing their job, but I swear, how is it that every single time I sit down, they end up showing up? And also like the sun is setting like in this room. Anyways, it's a mess. It's a hot mess. I got 2 more novellas and 1 more full-length book. Let's get some more novellas in the mix, which actually I said earlier, I'm like, oh, these are my 2, like Moonflower and and The Dare are my two favorites, but also The Offerings by Ashley Mack. I loved this one too. Well, I mean, like, I obviously love all these books because I'm recommending them all, but this was another favorite of mine the other year. Okay, really? Okay, so this one is, again, another kind of like Jesus. I could literally cry. Need to keep going. This one is another like academia type setting novella taking place around Halloween, and it is also a brother's best friend one. So our heroine, there are basically these 3 secret societies on campus that then host this hunt. I swear, if someone comments about the noise in the background of this video, I will just cry, and I will just have to delete your comment. I can't. This is already I know it's gonna drive me crazy in editing, but I literally don't have time. I need to keep going. Anyways, there are these 3 secret societies on campus, and yeah, they host a hunt every single year, and she ends up getting kind of like involved in this hunt, and then if they catch you, they kind of get you, and she's like, I don't want to be caught by these like random people. So then she ends up seeking out her brother, or her best friend's brother, in order to kind of hide out. Or is it her brother's best friend? For some reason, I'm thinking it's best friend's brother. Whatever. She ends up seeking him out for safety. He is a part of one of the societies. And as soon as she shows up, he's like, what are you doing being involved in this? But like, yes, I'm going to keep you safe. And basically they end up going on this hunt together, and he ends up like trying to keep her safe from everyone that night, because of course no one's going to touch what is his, and she's kind of always had a crush on him, and he's kind of always just been like, whatever, not going to go there. But obviously that all changes on this night. Again, loved it, loved the setting, loved the secret societies and the hunt, and the 2 of them together. I remember really loving them. Yeah, really great, really fun. Okay, we are down to our last 2. Let's do my other Harley LaRue book. Listen, I'm sorry, they just like do spooky books so well. Her Soul to Take is the first book in the Souls trilogy. My favorite book in the Souls trilogy, although I still haven't finished. I haven't read the 3rd one. But this one follows Leon and Ray, and it is a ghost, or like a demon romance, a demon dark romance. So Ray basically returns back to this hometown that she was growing up in, but then her family ended up moving, but she moves back into her family's old home there when she starts going to the university there. And there have been some murders going on this campus, and she's really intrigued by that. And just like the whole entire like town is kind of spooky, kind of creepy, but she really likes that. She kind of likes those vibes, and she actually has a paranormal YouTube channel where she tries to like summon ghosts, do ghost hunting, like that kind of thing. And one day when she ends up finding this one little book, she's like, oh, maybe I can like make a YouTube video with it, you know, try to be like, oh, look what I summoned. Yeah, then she actually ends up summoning a demon on complete accident, and that is Leon. And he has, you know, I don't really even know what I can say about his history, like without giving anything away, but yeah, there is basically this cult in this town, and they do some bad things, and Leon is kind of attached to them in a bit of a way, and Ray doesn't really know what she just stepped into and what she just kind of like unearthed, and it does end up being their romance. So romance with a demon. Listen, Leon's so hot, okay? I never thought that I would be into demon romances until I read this book, and then I was like, okay, Leon, actually you got me feeling some kind of way. That's this one. I mean, there's so much more to it, but again, there's like very spooky. Did I say smooky? Spooky atmosphere. Just trust me. I love it. Just read it. Alas, we keep going. Last book that I'm going to talk about is Dead Devil's Night by Mari Rose. This is another novella, and this one is kind of Purge-esque. So again, not necessarily like Halloween, but it is purgy. So our heroine in this one, she had a bit of like a found family with these 2 guys. It's an MFM one. And they kind of, the 3 of them, they were all just kind of like lost people, you know, and they had this found family, the 3 of them together. However, there is this one kind of like purge night, if you know the Purge movies. And basically these men ended up breaking into their home one night, or on this one night, and killed her 2 best friends, and then severely like and brutally tormented her all night long, and they left her for dead, but she in fact did not die, and this is her revenge now. She's gotten healthy, she's gotten herself, like she's kind of picked herself back up, and she's just had time to plot her revenge, to track down all of these men who think that they got away with everything that they did to her and killing her best friends. And now on this next Dead Devil's Night, she's going to go out and get her revenge finally. So if you love the Mindfuck series by St. Abby, I'd give this one a go, because it's kind of like similar premise of like vigilante, of like a heroine on a mission, having a list of men who have wronged her and tracking them all down. And as she starts tracking them down, she starts realizing that these two other men are also tracking them down. And she's like, wait, it couldn't be. They're dead. Or are they? And it ends up being that. So anyways, I love the Purge movies so much. So I really thought that this was like a fun premise on top of then like her getting her revenge on all of these men who wronged her, because get it. That is that. That is this video. Yeah. That's 8 spooky romances, in case if you are looking for something atmospheric as we are winding down our time to Halloween, which made me realize I have not figured out a costume, but also I'm literally not going out. Actually, I'm deciding that right here, right now. I'm not going out for Halloween this year. I do not have time for that, and I do not want to figure out a costume. So I'm informing you guys first before I inform any of my friends that I'm sorry, don't count me in. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I do not know what's going to be up on Friday. I can't even think that far ahead. I'm just trying to literally make it through the next like couple of hours of my night. So anyways, that is it for today's video, and I will see you when I see ya.